Good morning and welcome back. I, Teacher Sheetal Gonsalves. Today we'll continue with our History Lesson 3, Effects of British Rule. Today in video 2, we are going to cover 3 parts. Part 1, Part 2 and Part 3. The first part which we are going to study today is Effect of British Rule in India. So before we begin, let's have a quick recap of what we studied in our last topic. So in our last section, we studied that the Britishers, how they established the East India Company in India, how they entered into the Maharashtra and entered into the Maratha politics, whereby signing various treaties like the Treaty of Salbai, the Treaty of Vasai, then the subsidiary alliances, and how Chhatrapati Pratap Singh, he also had a tough time with the Britishers, and when Lord Dalhousie was been appointed as the officer, he came into the Maratha politics, he came to Maharashtra and he annexed the state of Satara under the adaptation policy, that is rejecting the adaptation policy in 1848. Now, today we are going to start with the effects of British rule in India, that is how the East India Company started establishing and how it started working, and what were the effects of this British rule. They were positive as well as negative effects also. So what were the effects? Keep your textbook open. If you are having a textbook, open your textbook to page number 11. Effects of British rule in India. The government started with the dual government system. Now, what was this dual government system? So, the British ruled in India from 1858 to 1947, that is the time of independence. And during this time, they formed various laws and policies of their own. Now, these laws and policies were being formed by the British government for some better things. Why it was formed? So that they would rule the country India with uniformity, that is in each and every state of India there will be uniformity in the administration, and to rule the government smoothly various laws and orders were being passed. So among these laws and orders, one of the laws or one of the policies which were being introduced by the British rule was the dual government system. Now, who was the person who was involved in this dual government system? So Robert Clive in 1765 introduced the dual government system in Bengal. The company undertook the work of revenue collection, whereas the Nawab of Bengal had to maintain law and order. This was known as the dual government system. So as you can see, dual means two ways, okay? Two different government. Now, which was this? First, the Britishers, Robert Clive, entered into the Bengal provinces in 1765. So there he started with this first policy. There, the Nawab of Bengal, who was the Nawab, who was the ruler of that state, he was the ruler. He was also there as a ruler, but along with that, the East India Company was also there. What did the East India Company do? The Nawab, he was given the right of maintaining law and order in the state. That is looking after the laws, looking after the proper well-being of the people, looking after how protection should be given to the people. So law and orders which were maintained, that came to be known as the Nizamat right. Whereas on the other hand, the East India Company took the important department in their hand. And what was that important department? The revenue collection. Revenue collection means collection of taxes through which they used to earn money, and that money was being used for the maintenance and for the development of the East India Company. That revenue collection is known as the Diwane right. So the Nizamat right, that is the maintenance of law and order, and the revenue right, that is the revenue collection, Diwane rights, were being kept in the hand of the East India Company. Okay, what happened due to this dual government system? Okay, due to this dual government system which was been introduced in 1765 by Robert Clive, the ill effects of dual government system could be seen after certain time period. Money in the form of taxes went into the pockets of the company officers. The monopoly of trade in India was given to East India Company, and hence many trading companies in England envied them. Envied them means they started having the envy, that is jealousy was there among the different companies, like the Portuguese were there, the Dutch were there, the French were there, the local rulers were there. They started having the jealousy or enemy, okay, the relationship of enemy between the British and the other thing. The Britishers, due to revenue collection, they collected more and more taxes from the Indian people, and they started filling their own pockets. And on the other hand, the business which was there, import-export business which was there, or the give and take trading monopolies were there, that also was taken completely into the hands of Britishers. So the working system of the company in India received criticism in England, and the British Parliament introduced some important laws to keep control over the company. Now, what was this dual government? This was the act or the policy of dual government system introduced by Robert Clive following the dual government of Bengal. Following the Treaty of Allahabad in 1765, Robert Clive set up the infamous dual system of administration in Bengal, wherein the company acquired the real power while the responsibility of administration rested on the Nawab of Bengal. Under the dual or double government system, the company got both the Diwani, that is the revenue, and Nizama, that is the civil administration functions of Bengal from two different sources. Diwani from the Mughal Emperor and Nizamat from the Nawab of Bengal. I hope you all are clear with this. Yes, so moving ahead. Now, because of dual government system and because of that injustice which have been there, and because of the new laws, the British Parliament came up with new important laws. Some good things who have been introduced, some new policies who have been introduced for the better administrations. What were these new policies? What were the new laws? Let us see in the parliamentary law. Now, what was this parliamentary law? According to Regulating Act of 1773, the Bengal governor came to be known as the Governor General. So, according to the Regulating Act of 1773, the Bengal governor, at that time, the Bengal governor who was there, a new title was been given. Instead of only governor, the title was given as Governor General. And according to this act, Lord Warren Hastings became the first Governor General of India. And what did he get because of it? He got the control to look after this. According to the Regulating Act of 1773, he got the control, the policies of Mumbai and Madras provinces. A committee of 4 members was set up to assist him. So, Lord Warren Hastings, as you can see the picture, who got the control of 2 important states. One is Madras provinces and the other one is Bengal and the Mumbai provinces. Right? So, he got the right to control the policies of Mumbai and Madras provinces. Now, after Lord Warren Hastings became the first Governor General, okay, of India, he also came up with new laws. He also came up with new policies. After that, another law was been introduced. Now, what was that another law which was introduced? This law came to be known as the Pitt's Indian Act law. That is the law of 1784, Pitt's Indian Act. Now, what was this act about? In 1784, Pitt's India Act was passed. The act provided for appointment of a permanent board of control for better regulation and management of affairs of the East India Company in India. In 1813, 1833 and 1853, that is after every 20 years, okay, as you can see in front of you on your screen, I have given you what was exactly the Pitt India Acts, okay, and see the last line, the Act 1793, the next act renewed the company monopoly for trade for further 20 years. That is, after every 20 years, 1813, then came 1833 and then 1853, new laws were being passed by the Parliament, that is the East India Company, British Company, to make certain changes in the working of the company. In this way, they evolved an indirect control of British government on the administration of the East India Company. So let us understand what is the Pitt's India Act. The Act of Settlement could cure the defects of Regulating Act. Hence was the Pitt's India Act passed. Pitt means the officer, English officer, his name was Pitt. So with his name, the Act Fits India Act was been given. Past two committees were appointed distinguishing commercial and political functions of the company. So there were two committees. One committee or one member will look after only the commercial thing. Commercial thing means the trading and all which has been carried out, the import export of the goods which will be there with the other local rulers and the other country members. And on the other hand, political functions means looking into the political boundaries, the provisions which are there, okay, regulating all the laws in the provincial activities. Political functions were based of 6 commissioners known as Board of Control, appointed by the king and were to hold office during his pleasure. Means when the king, the emperor, the king, whoever was there of that particular state, of that particular province, he will be appointing that 6 commissioner who will be looking after the political function. Board was to superintend, direct and control all operations of the civil and military government. Civil and military means to look after the welfare, to protect the boundaries, that is the police who were there, the military soldiers who were there, and also the civil work which were there, that is digging of roads, water, buildings, okay, maintaining buildings or building of bridges, all this came under civil work, okay. Then the Act 1793, the next Act, so 1784, then the Act of 1793, the next Act renewed the company's monopoly to trade for a further period of 20 years. So as you can see in 1813, then after 20 years again the laws and policies were being changed. New government was set up for the new administration. Then again 1833, and again after 20 years again a new government in 1853 was been set up. So I hope you all have followed till here. Yes. So the next part, that is in part 2, we are going to study about what were the different changes brought by the British government in the administration system. We'll continue this in our part